Hello, sweeties. I have some of Glisten & Glow's Polish and Beauty Expo shades to share with you today. So let's start with the two PBE exclusives. First, we have Party at Portillos, described as a black jelly polish loaded with larger particle shimmer that shifts between red, orange, yellow, and green. Shown here in 3 coats, dries with very subtle texture, so a top coat is needed for a full glossy finish. First shown under studio lighting and then lower lighting. You can see the red and orange shimmer under the studio lighting, but both become more pronounced and darker under the low lighting, and the yellow-green shift also pops out at some angles. Shown here in 1 coat over black. And this one is Devouring Deep Dish, described as a red jelly loaded with larger particle shimmer that shifts between yellow, green, and blue. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. It does dry again with a little bit of subtle texture, so a top coat is needed for a full glossy finish. First shown under studio lighting and then lower lighting. The yellow shift very much shows itself under the studio lighting, but the greenish blue takes over under the low lighting. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Now onto the Catacorns quad. First up is Half Cat, Half Unicorn, All Magic, described as an icy purple jelly loaded with larger particle shimmer that shifts between pink, red, orange, yellow, and green. Shown here in 3 coats. Again, just like the rest, they have subtle texture, so a top coat's probably best for a full glossy finish. And this is like that for the rest of the polishes as well. First shown under studio lighting and then lower lighting. The pinkish red shift is more visible under studio lighting, and the orange and yellow come out under the low lighting along with a bit of the green at certain angles. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Next is Positively Magical, described as a bright blue jelly loaded with larger particle shimmer that shifts between yellow, green, and blue. Shown here in 3 coats. First shown under studio lighting and then lower lighting. You can see the yellow shift under the studio lighting, but the blue very much takes over under the low lighting and turns the base into like a deeper blue. shown here in one coat over black. Here we have I Believe in Catacorns, described as an icy blue jelly loaded with larger particle shimmer that shifts between pink, red, orange, yellow, and green, shown here in 3 coats. First shown under studio lighting and then lower lighting. The pinkish red shift is the show stealer under the studio lighting, and then the yellow and green take over under the low lighting. Shown here in one coat over black. And lastly, this is Perfectly Pegasus, described as a tailed jelly loaded with larger particle shimmer that shifts between pink, red, orange, yellow, and green, shown here in 3 coats. First shown under studio lighting and then lower lighting. You can see the pinkish red shift the most under studio lighting, and then the yellow and green come out more under the low lighting. Shown here in one coat over black. My favorites from the exclusives is Devouring Deep Dish. I really like the red jelly base and the way all the shifts look inside the red base. And as for the quad, I'm going to go with Positively Magical. First off, I love the name, and I really like all the shifts with the blue as a base and how under the low lighting it morphs into a darker blue. Which are your favorites? Let me know in the comments below. All of these shades release this Sunday, July 14th at the Polish Beauty Expo, and the exclusives are $11.50 each, and the quad is $40 for all 4 and $11.50 individually. These will also be available at glistenandglow.com on July 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.